Can you able to see my screen?
The screen is visible.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about the cloud computing. So this is the Azure part we are talking about. So this is a 3 days workshop. So today is the introduction section. Who is requesting control? Okay. So let me brief about myself. So currently I'm working with Wells Fargo. So it's a US second largest bank. Currently I'm in the position of assistant vice president. So previously I was a senior solution architect like in Azure. Before that I was technical analyst and senior software developer. So this is today's like agenda. Like today is the 5th April. So we are talking about the brief about the cloud computing introductions. And the later will go on like career path and other trending technologies. Okay. So like start with cloud computing. So cloud computing is basically a service. So it offers customers to work over the internet, right? So everything you are doing. So currently I am sharing my screen or you are reading. So this is the cloud only. So like suppose you are using the Google Drive, that is also a cloud. So it is simply states that cloud computing is storing and accessing the data and programs over the internet rather than the computer hard disk. So like locally we are not storing those things. We are storing our data over the internet. So the data will be anything like music, files, image, documents, everything. Okay. So now we are coming into the cloud computing types. So the cloud computing basically are three types. One is the SaaS. This is software as a service, and PaaS the platform as a service, and IaaS in infrastructure as a service. So SaaS, for example, like email. So you are using Gmail, Yahoo. So those are the SaaS. So these are the softwares we are directly handling. The PaaS is the platform. Like suppose you are using the database like MySQL, SQL Server. Those are the PaaS service. IaaS service is like virtual machines. Virtual machine in the sense like the computer over the internet. Like the same computer you are using right in front of that is hosted in the internet. So those storage service, network services, those are infrastructure as a service. So after this session, I will share every materials I have with me. This uh, like cloud computing introduction, or just focus on like what is SaaS, what is PaaS, and what is the terminologies for Azure, right? So same thing like SaaS is the software as a services. So it's like software on demand. So we don't have to pay for like the installation cost, the maintenance cost, the support cost. So we don't have to worry about for the SaaS. So like for using Gmail, are you paying anything? No, right? So for that reason, SaaS is applicable. PaaS mostly developer friendly. PaaS mostly developer support they are using the PaaS. And IaaS service mostly administrator they are using those services. So the most companies like IBM, Google, Microsoft So like Azure is also a IaaS, infrastructure as a service, because it is the infrastructure. So on-premise in sense, like suppose you will join a company or in your lab, how they set up those things like machines, CPUs, like hard disks, anything that is known as on-premises. But in IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, so what are the things you need to take care, and what are the things providers like Microsoft's Azure, Amazon's AWS, and Google's GCP, they are providing. Suppose on-premises services, we are handling everything. So those which are in blue mark, those are handled by us. Those are in orange mark, those are handling the service provider like Azure or AWS or GCP, right? So we'll go
My
later.
apologies for interrupting. Your voice is breaking a bit. Um,
Okay. No. Can you hear me right? Still is breaking. Hello.
it's still breaking a bit.
Okay. Let me reason it. Can you hear me now? Hello. Still is breaking?
Um, it, it's almost the same, but we can continue. If it breaks a lot, I'll notify you again.
Okay, okay, sure. Let me share screen again. So I'm talking about the blow mark. So these blow marks we are handling, right? And those orange marks, so those are handling by the service provider like Azure or AWS or GCP. Ankita, can you hear me right now? So can you confirm me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, and I hope the others can as well.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So let's talk about the IaaS service, infrastructure as a service. Suppose you are developing an application or is a startup. So what you need? So you need to focus about your applications, your data, your software. So you don't need to worry about your storage or networking or virtualization. So those are taken care by the Azure or GCP or AWS. You just give your money and they will provide you the server, storage, networking, everything. So only you need to focus on your applications, right? The pass means is like developer they are using only their the applications and data. Data in the sense like database only. Application in the sense like you are writing your code. You just worry about your code and database. So those runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, so those are taken care by the service provider. SaaS in the sense like you don't need to worry about anything. Your applications, data, runtime, everything was taken care by the service provider. Suppose on one example, Google Drive. Google Drive is a software as a service. Gmail is a software as a service. Yahoo Mail is a software as a service. Because you don't need to worry about your application, how is the code, how is your database. So what is happening in the background, you no need to worry about. So you can see some like Azure, AWS, GCP, those are the IaaS services provided because they are providing the infrastructure. Okay, so so you can see this triangle graph like this more control less. So like they have more control. This is controlled by the software developers here. See, the SaaS is the end user. End user means the customers. Like we are the end users. Yeah. So next is the deployment model. So there is mainly three types of deployment models. One is the private, public, and hybrid. Private. Suppose your infrastructure, your college lab, the private infrastructure. Those are operated by a particular organization. So, so those models not model. Public model means like you are a lab groups like suppose banking application database hosted in the private, UI side hosted in the public. Sense like you can see those things. In the sense like both public those can see and sense like there is various options they are handling those securities like government also there the community models. So there are some public cloud, like it's accessible to general public, and you can access it through the internet, public cloud. But in private, access through directly to the internet through either through VPN or any kind, you can access it. We can talk about this later. This community cloud sense like big means like several organizations they are handling those things. Maybe it was managed by the organization or in organization. Hybrid same public private in the sense internal. Like suppose example, suppose you are using one application like suppose Axis. So so y- you can see interface. You can see everyone interface. Right? The background where the database is, what the transaction is, you can see that one. Right? So that is private part, and public part is you can only see your interfaces. Yeah. Next comes to the Azure part. So why we chose Azure? Uh, because see, Azure is managed by Microsoft. Microsoft is the world's largest organization. Okay. So Microsoft mostly 40% market share is handling right now. So this is the field you can enhance your skills. You can adopt that you will get good. Hello, Ankita, can you come whether my voice is? clear? Hello. Hello.
Sir, there was a little interference in the beginning, but right now I think it will be smooth. But there were some breakages due to network issue, I presume.
Okay. So right now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's talk about the Azure. So Azure is handled by the Microsoft, which is Microsoft like 40% share the cloud now handling the Microsoft. Before that, Microsoft AWS also come into picture, which is handled by the Amazon. Uh, but right now, Azure is merging. So, now we talk about how to create Azure account. I'll go through these slides. See, first guys, you go to this azure.microsoft.com/free, so you can enjoy these services freely. Like for 1 year, you will get like 40,500 rupees credit freely for 1 month. Understand, guys? Only for 1 month. But apart from that, 25 services you can use for 1 year. Okay, so for that reason, only you need your Microsoft account. Like you need to register your email ID into the Microsoft. If you have GitHub file, you can click on this GitHub. See, sign in with GitHub link and you can log in. You just need to give your credit card or debit card details. It will only charge you 2 rupees. And this is secure, guys. And this is secure, guys. So don't worry about that one because Microsoft will take care everything. Mostly 1 billion to $2 billion they are spending every year for the security. So don't worry for your security credit card details leak or anything. You just need to give your information and do some verification. Only 2 rupees will be deducted. Then see, the $200 free credit you will be getting like 14,500 rupees you will get. 12 months popular services for free and 25 services independently for free. And for different reason it will differ. Okay. And apart from that, no need to worry about anything. So directly you jump into this page. So see, I already so this is showing my account. So directly enter to this page. I'll just give you a brief overview about this page, how it looks, where we need to search any kind of services. So Microsoft offers more than 200 plus services. We can use any in the cloud. We don't need to we don't we need to pay some if we are using just more than 1 year. Okay. I'm the store 3D store Microsoft Center looks like. See, this one is the Azure data. First, you will enter lobby. Like you are entering inside the gate. Inside the you can export. See, those are, and someone is here to welcome inside this actor. You can, I'll share this, yeah, you can explore this. Okay. So apart from go up the link to enter to the, so where the main concept of like this server, this is the back door. Any cloud you can explore from where here your CPU use everything hard disk things. Those are stored here, and networking also stored here. You can explore. This is the server room. You can watch. Next, the network room. Enter inside the network room. You will see tools. Everything is okay. Next, the area. Guys, I'll send you. You can explore because those are the backbone of any service provider. You need to get through details like how the servers are, like how the racks is there, data center are there. So those you need okay. So you can explore this one innovation room. This is the innovation Azure innovation room. You can explore the innovation and see this room where Microsoft are doing different projects. One is the liquid immersion, and this project is the underwater project. Like nowadays, the Microsoft project not underwater project, like every cable, the Microsoft like they are doing one kind of project where they are transferring our data underwater, and this one the DNA storage. Those are quantum computing. Those things are micro advanced tech project. And let's jump into the Azure portal. This is Azure portal. So just log in portal.azure.com. You can just go through these steps. Uh, I think that is not enabled yet. Otherwise, I'll share right now. Or later, I'll share with you. Okay. So here you see different resources. All services, what kind of services you name it, Azure gives you. Only just need to guys. Still my breaking.
Yes, I think there is a continuous network issue on your part because the voice is breaking.
In between, it becomes very low and then it's back to normal.
Okay.
That's manageable. If it breaks a lot, we'll contradict or we'll let you know.
Okay. Let me check my internet speed. Still 30, 40. Okay. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So those are the services Azure is providing. Like one is the virtual machine, resource group, app services where you can host your applications. Virtual machine is like your physical computer hosted in over the internet, right? This is the SQL data. Like you can install SQL in your physical, but in cloud it is there. So you need to install anything. So storage account for any kind of file, data, or file, so you can store it. Virtual network, networking services. Okay, so first jump into the what is subscription, what is source group, what is like virtual machine. So first we need some basic overview, like which is most important for the Azure. First, creating the Azure account, by default, Azure subscription is created. Like suppose you are watching Amazon Prime Video or Netflix, you are getting any kind of subscription, right? Suppose for 1 month you are paying this much amount, for 6 months you are paying this much amount. Same like Azure. For Azure subscription, you need to pay. Suppose like the free subscription for some days be free. Like 1 month, I told you $200 will be credited to your Azure account. After that, you need to like pay some amount which you are using, not for all the services. Okay, so these are Azure subscription is an active agreement between user and Microsoft. Means you and Microsoft. Like suppose I want to use your services for 1 month. I need to pay this much amount according to my uses and services. Okay. Next is the resource group. Resource group is like a collection of Azure resources. Azure resource in the sense like one is virtual. Virtual machine is a resource. SQL database is a resource. So every individual component is a resource. If we club together, then it will become a resource group. It's a simply a collection of Azure services. Okay. Next is the ARM. ARM is the Azure Resource Manager. Azure Resource Manager helps to manage all the services or resources. Still, guys, you are complaining about the voice. I think I have Turkish or still it's showing yes. Can you confirm anyone? I think chat is disabled. Ankita, so my voice or it's clear? So Guys are complete.
Your voice is breaking. Maybe you could try and see if the system load is high. That could be a reason. There are a lot of applications open, maybe because of that it's becoming slow. Or else we would assume it's a network issue. That's why it's slow. Regarding the chat, yes, due to some reason, it's not available for all participants.
Okay, so for me also you can see right, chart is disabled. Okay. Sorry guys for my network issue. Okay. So here Azure Service Portal, first uh, okay in okay, in Telegram group, can you just ask any question, any doubt, because here the chart is disabled. Mm, I'll try to clear the doubt. I'll see through that the Telegram group. Okay. So let's see here. So first I told you subscription. Here suppose you will come into the Microsoft Azure portal. You can search it here or click on all resources. You can create any kind of resources here you want. Suppose database, any developer tools, DevOps, Internet of Things, monitoring, networking, you can search it here or directly you can search it here. Suppose initially we will check the subscription I told you. Here you can search, you will find subscription. Mine is pay as you go because my free account is disabled because I already logged in 1 year before. So now mine is pay as you go. So whatever I will use, I will pay. Next is the resource group. Resources, I told you, resources are like the virtual machines or subscription or app services, SQL database. Those are the resources. You can click on all services. You can see everything here. So for the compute, these many services for Azure are there. For networking, these many services are there. Like virtual network is a networking, load balancer, network interface, public IP prefixes, virtual WAN, Azure Bastion services. See, these Bastion services. Next is the storage. Storage in the sense like database, like Azure Databox, Azure like SQL, like Storage Explorer, Azure Stack Edge. So those are different services you can use for web applications, like for app services in the sense like you just write your code and you just want to instantly host your services to the internet. You can use the app services. In the even mobile services, container, the different services like the Kubernetes, Docker, those services are there. For databases like for Azure, it's like Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is the cloud DB. Azure SQL we can use. MySQL can also use. Postgres SQL also we can use. Analytics, AI, machine learning. So those are the different services using through the Microsoft Azure. Based on requirement, you can use your services. Yeah, I'm showing you resource groups. Resource group. Suppose you will create one account. Like suppose you will create one services. There you can get the resource group details. Now I did not create anything, so it's showing as empty. So now next ARM, go to ARM, Azure Resource Manager. Azure Resource Manager. See, Azure Resource Manager, those are like managing the resources through the portal, through the PowerShell, through the CLI. Okay, next is Azure SQL. Suppose we are using the SQL database in the Azure. We can click on the Azure SQL. We can create any kind of resources and we can use that one. Like suppose SQL database or virtual machines where we can install our SQL server. We can use that one. Okay. So these are the services we are using. This is the Azure Cloud Shell, like PowerShell or Bash. So in Windows, you can search it PowerShell. It's same like hosted inside the internet. Okay. And the next is notification services. So this is the advanced options. It's a feedback, nothing else. So PowerShell, you can use it based on your requirement. In the next session, like we'll talk about how to create any kind of resources and the certification pathway, like what kind of certification you need to do for industry standards. Like for developer, if you want to go to the development field, what kind of certification you are doing. For administration, what kind of certification you are doing. We'll talk about in the next session. Guys, I think uh, you can ask your doubt.
I would enable everyone's mic, and whosoever raises their hand, I'll switch their mic on. They can ask their questions. Maybe that would also work if it's okay for everyone.
Oh,
Anyone who has a query, please raise your hand, and you can, then unmute and ask your queries.
Excuse me.
yeah.
This was a common question pool
Okay.
which our peers have been asking, but from a fresher's point of view, which cloud service do you think would be more comfortable to adapt to, Azure, AWS, or GCP?
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you. So, like Azure, as compared to industry standard, uh, I can see Azure is the most emerging field right now, as compared to salary, as compared to openings also. Now Azure is the suitable because AWS comes before 10 years before of Azure, so it's already saturated. So now if we go for Azure certification, most of the MNCs companies they are asking for the Azure. And GCP only 2% market share is gaining. So you can think about it. So GCP is not leading. Only the Azure is leading into the market. So you can go through the Microsoft Azure certification.
Thank you so much.
Trust me, guys, Azure is very easy. You just need to click on Every things already everything is mentioned there in the Azure portal. If you, whether you are a developer, admin, or architect, it's very easy to grasp all the knowledge for the Azure as compared to AWS and GCP. Anyone having any doubt? See, this is only the introduction class. So there is more things in Azure we can talk about later. I already made one time tracker. So what we need to learn for which field. I'll show you in the next session.
It seems that we don't have any more questions, but we'll still wait for a minute. If we do not
Okay.
have any more questions, we'll consider it as a wrap. So I'd personally like to thank our speaker for taking time out of his hectic schedule and being here with us. Y'all can definitely feel free to ask your questions, even if later you have so. Feel free to put that up in the Telegram group, and he'd be happy to help you all out. It seems we do not have any more questions for the session, and it was great having all of you here. Regarding the material and stuff, our team would make sure you all receive it. And thank you so much again uh, for all of to all of you for joining us for this session. Hoping to see you all in the next two upcoming sessions of this whole workshop series. And thanks again to our speaker for hopping in today and helping all of us understand the basics or fundamentals of Azure.
Thank you, Ankita. So please next time make sure like the chat option is enabled actually. These guys are like not talking.
Sure, I'll keep it a note and I'll make sure that happens.
Yeah,
It
sure.
was an issue from our team's link. So
Okay.
the place where we had created it from the ambassador portal did not allow links to get like for everyone to have the chat feature available. For the next meets, it will be up there. So
Okay, sure, Ankita. And thank you guys for joining this session. So I hope the next session everyone you will join. So next session it's a like mostly interactable session. So like you can ask any doubts regarding your career, regarding your certification, everything. You can just ask me. Whatever I have knowledge, I will give you. Okay. Thank you guys. Good night all.